Welcome back, this is Cerealsnax, and today I'm looking at cooking in Guild Wars 2. Just wanted to put together a quick guide that'll help you get to level 50 in cooking. And what I did was, did some research, did a little bit of my own crafting, tried to figure out kind of what I thought was the most optimal way to get to level 50 in cooking. So, this is of course the chef crafting class. You can see right here I'm just showing off the crafting station in Lion's Arch for cooking. You see there's a lot of people gathered around it. One thing I'll say about cooking is that in the beta, the statistics show that it was the least taken profession by any of the beta players. So I kind of expect that to be the case nowadays too, that it's probably the fewest number of people are actually doing cooking compared to the other crafting professions. That kind of draws me to it. I like to have kind of a unique crafting profession. So the other thing about cooking that's neat is that you can make dyes at a certain point in time, and if you played Guild Wars 1 you'll know that dyes were a very hot commodity, and that's not necessarily why I'm doing it, but it's neat to be able to have all the dyes at your disposal, or at least all the craftable dyes at your disposal. Plus it's a good way to maybe give yourself a little bit more money because you can then sell those dyes on the trading post. The other thing of course is that you can make food that gives you stat boosts and different kinds of bonuses basically in combat, at least temporarily, and that'll probably become important in the later game, especially in World versus World, and maybe even in some of the dungeons, just to give you that extra little needed boost to help you win in whatever you're playing. So that said, let's get into it. I'll show you step by step what I did to get to 50 and what I think is maybe the fastest way to get there. There's probably better ways, and if anybody has some things that they feel could be tweaked in this setup, let me know. I'd like to see that as a comment, because then we can all discuss it and see maybe where this can be fine-tuned. But what you will see on your screen now is a list of all the total number of components that I needed to get to level 50. So again, if we can figure out a way to get that list down to a smaller amount, that'd be great. But this is kind of what I did, and I'll show you step by step how each of these components is used and in what order to get you to level 50. So here we go. So basically, one of the things you need to know about cooking is that you buy most of your ingredients from vendors like this. Cinnamon sticks are part of the first recipe, so we'll buy some of those. And these karma vendors are usually by the crafting station. I'm in the Char City right now, but that karma vendor is kind of close to the cooking station. The other place that you can get your components from is actually from the master chefs themselves. So over here on the right, there's a master chef that you can buy your components from. And then of course the third place you get it, well, there's more than three actually. The third place that you get your components from is actually from the from gathering. You get your gathering sickle out, and you go and you gather the vegetables and all that are on the ground. And then of course the fourth place you can get them from is from vendors out in the field. So there's actually a few vendors out in the field that will sell bulk items, like bulk celery sticks and that sort of thing. And that's an easier way sometimes to get those particular items. So here I'm just messing with my menus. But so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to become a chef. Now currently I have jewel crafting and huntsman. I'm going to drop jeweler and take chef. Now the cool part is I still keep all of the advancements I've done in jewel crafting when I switch over. The only thing is that it charges me 10 copper per skill point to make that switch. So you can always switch back if you want to later on. So let's make the first recipe, and that is 10 piles of cinnamon sugar. And you can see I listed where I got them. The cinnamon from the karma vendor is 3 karma for cinnamon, and then sugar from the master chef for 80 copper. So, and that was a pile of 10 sugar for 80 copper. So there you go. Now there's my packet of yeast, and I can make the next recipe, number 2, and that is the loaf of bread, which requires all these ingredients here. So let's collect the ingredients that we need. I've got 10 water already.
Make it quick.
I'm going to get some flour for 80 silver, 10 bags of flour. And I think I already had, yes, I already had the final part of that, which was the packets of yeast. So make your 10 loaves of bread, 10 jugs of water, 10 bags of flour, and 10 packets of yeast, and you can see the costs for each one there. The yeast is actually 21 karma from the master chef vendor that I just saw right there. So we'll go on to the next recipe. So we're already getting pretty high up. I think it said level 20 now. So after making those 2 recipes, your next step is to obtain this recipe, the handful of Bjarni's rabbit food. and you get that from him. It's a karma reward from him. You have to actually complete the heart quest first. You can see I'm almost done with it here. I'm just collecting rabbit food for him. It's not a difficult heart to do. It's only a level 6 heart, so even if you have a low level character, you can get to it pretty quickly. And we'll purchase that recipe from him, because this recipe is critical to getting up your skills in a very quick fashion. So you can see recipe, it's called Bjarne's celery snack here, although the name actually changes when it gets into your cookbook. So we'll buy that. It's 49 karma, which is not too expensive. And then he also sells celery stalks in bulk. So you can spend 21 karma points and you get 25 celery stalks, which is incredible. And he's the only vendor that I'm aware of that actually sells celery stalks in bulk. So here's the recipe. We will learn it. And then we can start making the snacks. And what we do is you get 25 carrots and 25 celery sticks, and then you just craft it, and that will get you. See, I'm already level 26, so if I can get 25 celery stalks and 25 carrots, I can then get up even further in level. This is a very quick and easy way. So here we are, the 25 celery, which is sold by Bjarne, or you can gather it, and then 25 carrots, which are only gathered that I'm aware of. There's a vendor supposedly in the Shaymore Fields named Farmer Claudia, but I have not been able to find her, and I think she only may be there certain times. The next one, number 4, is to do the pile of salt and pepper, which is really just a packet of salt and black peppercorn. Black peppercorn you can buy for karma, and the packet of salt you buy from the Master Chef vendor. So now the next thing you want to do is start discovering items. So the first thing you can discover is this one, which is red slab of meat and a loaf of bread, and that is discover the hamburger. So you get, that's pretty easy to discover. And discovery, of course, as I've explained in my past crafting video, gives you a lot more experience than just crafting. So you could craft 10 of an item and not get as much experience as you do from discovering one item. So the next one is this, the salt and pepper plus a slab of red meat gives you a grilled steak. So it gives you a ton of experience there. And then the next one to discover is going to be the packets of salt plus a potato, and that will make you a cup of potato fries. So a pretty simple recipe.
It's nice
to give you that. Now one thing I did do is I crafted all 9 of them, and that's optional. There's multiple ways to get past this point because you're going to have a number of recipes that will give you a lot of experience. I chose to go with the cup of potato fries just because packet of salt's pretty easy to get, and because I had a lot of potatoes. The next thing you want to do is make a bottle of simple dressing, which is a jar of vegetable oil, a jar of vinegar, and a pile of salt and pepper. Again, you're buying most of your components and then crafting some of them, and that will give you the bottle. And then this next one you want to discover uses all these ingredients: bottle of soy sauce, 2 red slabs of meat, 2 carrots, 2 onions, and that is the simple stir fry. So the slabs of red meat are rare loot from mobs, and then the other items are mostly gathered. So we've talked about those before. And I know we're moving through this pretty quickly, but the other thing, number 10, you want to discover the slice of buttered toast, which is a loaf of bread and a stick of butter. But my point is, there's a lot to discover, so I don't want to spend too much time showing it because you get the gist. You craft them, make them. Discovering really gets you there. Look, I'm almost level 49, and there's a number of things I could do now. I've got a lot of components kind of sitting around. Some of the stuff you want to save. One thing I did is I made bottle of simple dressings because I ran out of carrots, but you can actually discover that recipe that I just showed on the screen there. So that's it. You're level 50. Very quick and easy to get to level 50 if you have the money. It probably cost me about 4 silver total, and just a few gathered components. So there I am, novice chef, level 53. You could have made ball of cookie doughs, which is butter, a bag of flour, egg, and some bag of sugar. I just chose not to do that. Instead, I made a bunch of bottles of simple dressing. So, and there's some dyes that you can make, which of course take a lot of components. You can see that there. Unidentified brown dye, orange dye, yellow, and purple. So you already have like 4 different colors by level 50. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed my quick and dirty levels 1 to 50 cooking guide. I will see you soon.